We're in the tech space on Tech Tuesday.
We're in the tech space on Tech Tuesday, and as promised, we're joined in the studio by Kabelo Sijaphala, who is the program director at Phylaxis Technologies. I had to ask, was I pronouncing it wrong? Was I butchering it the whole time? It turns out that I was, but anyway. We have him in the studio with us. Very, very happy to have him here because we're talking about groundbreaking breast cancer awareness program that has been launched and powered by Phylaxis Technologies. And he's going to be telling us a little bit more about all of this and, of course, much, much more. Thank you so very much for your time. Are you well today?
I'm all good. Thanks for having me.
An absolute pleasure to have you. Look, I mean, the month of October is a very significant one, and I'm happy to see you wearing pink because it is the right color in recognition, celebration as well for, the strides that have been made in the fight against breast cancer. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So maybe let's talk a little bit about the marriage, I suppose, of this kind of awareness and the technologies that you employ as Phylaxis Technologies.
Yeah, so our journey started about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, and it's taken us a while to actually build, test, and deploy this technology.
Yeah.
It's the first of its kind.
Mm-hmm.
And our whole point of our vision is just to make healthcare more sustainable and affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so our first stride in attaining our goals would be partnering up with NGOs.
Yeah.
So in this instance, we partnered up with the Breast Health Foundation, and they are using our technology.
Yeah.
They'll be rolling it out in mostly rural areas. They'll be using it to just increase the awareness and just make it more scalable.
Yeah.
And scalability actually leads to more affordability.
For sure.
And teaching our rural communities, especially the older women, because they're the ones who are mostly vulnerable to cancer.
Yeah.
And yeah, just helping them understand what cancer is, how to do self-screening at home, and to also know when to go to the nearest clinics and so forth.
And you talk about how, a lot of work has been put into this, a lot of work with a deliberate purpose, actually, of saying that you want to make it accessible, especially to those who would perhaps otherwise not have access to this kind of healthcare. Let's talk about the work that has been done, the ins and outs, the teams, the successes, the long nights, and maybe some frustrations along the way as well.
Yeah, when we started, we were actually targeting working with clinics and just trying to make our South African clinics just a better place, be more efficient in terms of their data collection and so forth. But as we were going, we saw a gap, and by being in these clinics and so forth, we saw that people don't really care about the public sector because there's no money, and the money is coming only from government in the public sector. So no private company is really spending a lot of money in the public sector.
Yeah.
So my CEO, Lavkesh Herrera, he came up with this brilliant idea of using AI just to enhance screening, awareness, and mostly the risks, early detection, and so forth. Yeah. So the most difficult part was actually finding. We had the technology, we had the developers and so forth, but we also needed to find doctors that understood data science. And we were lucky. We found the likes of Dr. Brad Siegel. Yeah. He's a vet's medical student. Actually, he's already a doctor. He's practicing, and he's currently at Oxford getting his PhD in data science. He's one of the few in the world that are medical doctors that actually do data science as well. So Dr. Brad and his team and Lavkesh, myself, and our team of techs came together, and we built this program, this platform. And then we found Louise Turner at the Breast Health Foundation, and she works with Dr. Ben.
Yeah.
She's a well-known doctor in the cancer community, and we came up with these platform, and we actually applied for funding from Novartis.
Yeah.
And it was from 4 continents, and we were one of the 3 winners. And for the next 8-9 months, we will be rolling the initiative in the rural communities.
Yeah. I love that you're also talking about, the power of artificial intelligence in your screening processes, in early detection and all of that. I think with everything that we hear about AI, it's always the negatives, right? What it's going to do, it's going to do this and it's going to do that. It's going to disallow us to do so many things. But I love that this is a positive way in which this kind of technology is used to advance lives. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that and how exactly this kind of technology is aiding the cancer community to be able to do their work, to do their research, and also aid in saving lives ultimately, because they say that early detection saves lives.
Yeah, so with us, it's more of the analytics that come from the data that we collect, and where the AI and machine learning comes in. And how our program works is that you are given a set of questions, and you answer those questions, and depending on which set you're answering. So there's cancer, there's breast cancer, the cervical cancer, there's sexual health, there's mental health, and GBV.
Right.
So there's awareness modules, and then we've also got risk assessment modules. So the cancer one is more of an awareness module. You answer the questions, and then it educates you. Yeah. Right. It tells you what you know, what you thought you knew, and what you should know. Right.
What you know, what you thought you knew, and what you should know. Got you. Okay.
Yeah, and then we give you a score from there. You get a personalized report at the end, and then in that report, we also highlight the myths about breast cancer in this instance. A lot of people might believe that putting your cell phone or money in your bra, you can get breast cancer. You know? And we just basically chuck those myths out the door and give you the proper factual information about breast cancer.
For sure.
And we do the same thing with all the other modules as well, but this month we're focusing just on breast cancer. There's a lot of men that believe that they can't get breast cancer.
That's another one.
So 1 in 100 men can get breast cancer. So and you also wanted to explain exactly what Phylaxis is, right? And just expand a little bit more about what this is and what it's able to do. It's a health tech platform.
Health tech platform.
Yeah, it's enabling personalized, perspective, and preventative healthcare as a social good.
Yeah.
So in a good, it's in a pursuit of reducing the disease burden and associated costs, as I said before.
And maybe let's talk about the challenges, integrating something that is very tech forward with what I believe are very archaic systems, right? They're very old, they're not developed. My mind was blown to even know that there are some, facilities that still do handwritten paperwork. So the data is not even captured on a computer. So if something were to happen to that building, you lose people's medical records. So maybe let's talk about some of those challenges in having something that's this advanced, meeting something that is this, archaic and from really, really old kinds of systems, especially as you're saying that you're rolling some of these things out in the rural areas where I imagine it's that much more so in terms of being backwards.
Yeah, actually, that's actually where our journey started. When we started in 2017, that's what we were looking at fixing. And but at the same time, I think there were government goals in place to actually do that as well. Ironically, our first strides were actually out of this country. We did that in Nigeria, and we were basically trying to sort out their backlog, paper backlog and so forth. And the program is running there, but that's
with success.
It's successful. It's running in two states, and. Yeah, I think I believe it's going well, and they'll be expanding. But here in South Africa, the project is Phylaxis, and we really want to try and help these NGOs because they are the ones that are filling in the gaps where the government is lacking or does not have the capacity.
Sure.
So we can't just sit back and expect the government to handle everything. This is where us as the private sector need to come in, step in, and help the government as well as the NGOs.
For sure. And when you take a look at maybe systems in other places in the world, I'm so happy that you have cited Nigeria as having been a place that you have seen a positive change and how you've implemented things there and observed how it's changed and shifted things and how you're able to do your work. But what other places can you cite maybe in other parts of the world perhaps where it's an admirable system, and you are looking at them as sort of being, the bright lights or the black star, if you like, of where you would like to go with your programs and in the integration of both your programs and the health systems?
So with this particular program, firstly, my CEO, he's from India.
Okay.
Yeah, he was born and raised in India. He's been in South Africa for over a decade.
Okay.
And the best place to start is always home.
Oh, definitely.
So charity starts at home.
100%.
So Phylaxis is in South Africa and in India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we run these programs concurrently in both countries, and there's a lot of similarities when it comes to the public sector in India and in South Africa. And our program is designed to actually cater for more than one language.
Oh, wow.
So in South Africa right now, we've focused mostly on English, Afrikaans, isiZulu, and now we are just in the process of translating all our work into the Sotho-based languages.
Brilliant. Long-term visions, I'm sure you have a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year plan. What is the long-term vision here?
Long-term is to spread awareness wherever we can, wherever our platform can be plugged in, and help with awareness or risk assessments. It will be, wherever it's needed, we want to be able to be there.
Yeah.
Whenever we are called to help, we will answer that call.
Sure. People who want to find out more about the work that you do, like you're saying, you want to spread awareness. Someone might be listening in our branches right now, maybe our very own African bankers, or maybe a customer in branch is thinking, this is an interesting conversation you're having. Maybe I might want to invite these guys to my community or to my current health facility to tell us more about what is possible. Where would you direct them?
Firstly, I'd direct them to our website, which is Phylaxis.ai, which is Phylaxis.ai. And then on Facebook, you can find us at Phylaxis.ai. On Instagram, it's Phylaxis.ai.
Yeah.
And then on LinkedIn, it's Phylaxis.ai.
Phylaxis Technologies. He's the program director, Kabelo Sijaphala. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing in the fight against, I suppose, all ailments, but because of this month, particularly breast cancer. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much for having us.